and gentlemen, welcome back to this week's episode of the Sunday Sauce. Took a little bit of a little hiatus.
A little
Happy
bit.
birthday to Andrew. Happy belated birthday
Thanks.
to Andrew.
Thanks.
But we're back, and we're ready to talk about some local hockey this week. We're not going to go too crazy. You know, we haven't really spent a lot of time on our own teams since we've been back.
This is true.
So we're going to do that. And we're going to talk about by far the biggest surprise in the area.
It's going to hurt.
We couldn't come here to talk to you about all of our surprises without our friends at the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Join the crew of the Essential Wrestling Podcast as they bring you a full recap of the previous week in wrestling. Our guys Al, John, and Gary break it all down for you on Tuesday, September 27th, beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Eastern Observer. And if I don't update that soon, I'm going to keep saying September 27th. It's November 8th. November 8th, this Tuesday. But you can go back and watch any of their old episodes on YouTube, and you can listen to them on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we have our friends over at the Primetime Rundown, who we get tons of support from. End your work week with Joey Jarzinka, Ian Schreier, and Mike Zabo as they bring you a full recap of every week in the world of sports on the Primetime Rundown, Friday nights beginning at 7 p.m. right here on the Eastern Observer. I'm talking football. I'm talking basketball. I'm talking baseball. They leave hockey to us because hockey is the most important sport out there, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch them on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you can stream. Now, before we start, here's the big question. Have you been drinking your milk?
I can't go a day without milk.
I purposely don't drink milk anymore.
But the Dairy Farmers Association of Ontario.
Well, I don't care about them. But we would never tell people to not drink their milk. It's good for your bones. It's good for your body.
Those
Apparently
great
not good
cookies.
for the Maple Leafs because they are struggling.
Is anyone shocked?
You know, it's kind of like you have to say yes, but no. I mean, because
I'm shocked this is happening in the regular season, but I'm just not shocked.
But I mean, look, with that roster, they should not be struggling, but they are.
No.
And I'm glad. I wonder how. Do we know how our friend out west has been doing? The Gremlin.
Living under a bridge somewhere.
I think it had. What was that thing called from? The grumpy old troll from under the bridge. Yeah, it's that thing.
It is that thing.
It is that thing. All right, let's get serious here. Now we all know that in a Game 7 situation, we take Mike Richter.
I'm going to lose it.
Why? It's facts.
No. Okay. Background.
Go ahead.
Part of
yours, and I'm going to get
one of the major accounts on Rangers Twitter. I have to look up the account to give him credit.
I think it's Blue Shirt Nation.
NY Rangers Fan Club also is the handle, and then BlueShirtsNation.com asked, who would you rather have started Game 7 in their prime, Mike Richter or Henrik Lundqvist? And the amount of people that are saying Mike Richter because he has won a Stanley Cup is absurd.
In a Game 7.
I don't care what game it is. Henrik Lundqvist is the better goalie. The answer is Henrik Lundqvist.
Not in the
playoffs. The guy, and if you want to talk about Game 7s, he has under a 1 goals against average in Game 7s.
He's got under 1 cup in Game 7s.
It doesn't matter.
It absolutely does matter.
The one Stanley Cup he was in didn't go to Game 7.
Who, Mike Richter?
No, Lundqvist.
Well, yeah, because he got beat 4 times fast.
No, because the team in front of him was bad.
No, because Mike Richter was a playoff goalie.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying.
You're
dumb.
No. The answer is Henrik Lundqvist.
Look, as I told you last night, and you cannot discredit me, I said there really isn't a wrong answer. You could.
You are right. Yes.
Yes, there is no wrong answer, but the right answer is Richter. I'm just saying.
You're just wrong.
Of course, look, me being who I am, I went out, I did my fact checking, and I asked some of my Ranger fans that are friends of mine. And let's see, we got from Jason, Richter. From over here, my friend Mark, have to say Richter. Hank is great. Richter won the big one. Can't agree with you more, Mark. My friend Kevin, I call him Slim. Game 7, Hank Richter, and didn't even hesitate. Answered almost immediately. And of course, my friend Tom, taking great pictures of me at work. Thank you, Tom. I told you I'd get you on here. This is how I'm getting you on, Richter. It wasn't even a choice. So you're in the vast minority here. It's 5
Out of the 6 text messages you sent, sure.
Oh, no, I sent more, but if I go through them all, we'll be here for the rest of the show. Now, don't get me wrong. I did get a couple of Hanks. I did. But those don't matter. So, let's. We started with the topic of the Rangers. Let's keep it there. Rangers this year, right off the bat, first of all, underwhelming, overwhelming, exactly what you expected?
Exactly what I expected, and I feel like the answer from most people is going to be underwhelming because of last year. But last year was an anomaly. Like they were nuts last year. I expected a little bit of regression, and we're seeing that. But they're still a top team in the league, you know. And we're 15 games into the year. I'm not like worried, but they also have been a little snake bitten. I will say they're scoring well under their expected goals for. Well under it. They're running into some hot goaltending, and then they ran into the Boston Bruins, who are apparently the second coming of Christ.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these Bruins. I'm pretty sure if I look at our projections, we both shot them in the bottom of the Atlantic, at least in the bottom 4.
Yeah, they're on crack right now. I don't know what to say about them.
And I think I don't want to say oddly enough, but I think our good friend Joey, who was with us for that episode from the Primetime Rundown, I'm pretty sure he actually put them at second. So they're overshadowing his expectation too.
Yeah, they're well over what all of us thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean we're a month in, been a couple ups, couple downs. The highest peaks and the lowest valleys are pretty equal. Because you had, opening night beating Tampa 3-1. You had the 7-3 game against Minnesota. You run into a hot goalie in Hellebuck. You beat Anaheim. You have not a great game versus San Jose, but you grab a point. You get destroyed by Columbus, which we're just going to, one of those games you crumple up and toss out. And then you take the defending Stanley Cup champs to a shootout. And then you get Sorokin the next night because he played a great game that night. Then you go win 6-3 in Dallas. So it's kind of all over the place.
Right.
So it'll even out. Like I said, it's a lot. It's a big roller coaster right now. It'll settle once we're more than a month and a half in. No problems here.
So Rangers sitting 6-4-2 on the season with 14 points, a goal differential of -2. That is a little bit surprising, but at the same time, obviously we know 5-on-5 goals last year were a problem for the Rangers.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, it's like almost, this offseason, they didn't really do a ton to fix that. With the signing of Vincent Trocheck, you're going to get goals, obviously, but that was more of a center depth, in my opinion. Even sitting with an above 500 record, does that goal diff worry you?
No, not really. Our 5-on the I've been looking at the advanced metrics that some people post, and our 5-on-5 play is way better than last year. By a long shot. And it's really just the one. Trocheck does make a decent difference on that second line over someone who can't hit an empty net. Him and Panarin have been meshing pretty well, but also just a maturation of Lafreniere and Kakko. Kakko's an animal. He is really coming into his own. To go back to the question, no, I'm not worried about the differential at all.
So we look at some of the individual players on your team. Obviously, Alexis Lafreniere is having a great start to his season, though he has 5 points in 12 games. He's making a lot of fantastic plays away from
He could very easily have triple those points. Kid's snake bitten right now.
Yeah, and like I said, even away from the puck, he's making fantastic plays.
He's playing great hockey, yeah.
Yeah, his hockey IQ is showing in at least the last 4 games that I was able to catch. Yeah. Artemi Panarin, well over a point a game right now, 16 points in 12 games, 5 goals, 11 assists. We spoke, personally over the summer when we were getting ready for to come back to the show, we were just kind of spitballing back and forth about him, how he was kind of a non-existent factor in the playoffs.
He had his moments, yeah.
I had a lot of people come after me. Oh, he had 16 points in 20 games. Well, yeah, he'd have a 4-point game and disappear for 2 games. So, seeing that he's off to this hot start, do you have a little bit more optimism going into the playoffs? Too soon to tell?
No, I definitely do. I think this is a complete response from his poor games in the playoffs when he did have them. Just shows he's mad, wants to play better. He's even said that himself. He was mad about his playoff performance and wanted to improve. And I'm officially calling him Heart Temmie until further notice. If McDavid can slow down, Panarin has a chance.
I'm pretty sure McDavid's already got like 60 points, but
it's it.
Yeah, so it's something like that. Talk about Jacob Trouba's presence as a captain.
Hey, I think he is doing a very good job off the ice, but his on-ice play really needs to improve. He's had fine games. He hasn't had many like bad games. I was at the game against Boston. That was a bad game from him. It was a bad game from the defense all around, especially after losing Lindgren with an upper body injury that I really hope is not a concussion, but they haven't said anything yet. Because once we're down a defenseman, then Libor Hayek has to be in the starting lineup, and that's going to create problems. But I, from what I've been hearing, what I've been seeing online, Trouba is very much loved in the locker room and knows what he's doing with the C on his chest. But he's really got to show that on the ice as well.
So, out of everybody on your roster, I know you were talking very highly of Capo Caco coming into his own. Anybody else on your roster right now really kind of jumping off the page a little bit? Like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, you're not gonna hear about him a lot, but Braden Schneider on that third pair. Braden Schneider is a great defenseman. And he doesn't get notoriety because of the other younger guys we have, and because he's on a third line. But having a third pair that you don't talk about because they don't do anything poorly is so nice. Even though you don't hear great things, you're not hearing anything bad. And Braden Schneider obliterated Trent Frederick on that Boston game. Beautiful. Kid's got offense. He plays well in his own zone. Arguably the most underrated player on the team.
Now, cycling back to that Boston game, because I saw the pretty viral clip go around of Brad Marchand throwing a cross-check through the crease and then someone coming up behind him and completely blasting him into the ice. Now, you were at this game. I couldn't make it out from the videos. Who was it that hit Brad Marchand like that?
So I had a couple sodas, so I don't know if I remember the number that well. I know during that brawl, Schneider was somebody, and then it was Barclay Goodrow fighting somebody else.
So, for the first time on the Sunday Sauce, I'm going to assign some homework.
Oh, God.
I need you to find out, not right now, you got time, because I mean time as in you have probably years. I need you to find out who laid that cross-check on Brad Marchand. I would like to send them $1,000, have them on here as a guest, and cook dinner for them.
It's a beautiful. We love seeing Brad Marchand get destroyed.
Look, you know me. I am not a Ranger fan, but I am not a Ranger hater.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever that was needs at the very bare minimum a handshake.
Was that in the first period? If that was in the first period, that might have been Ryan Lindgren.
See, I don't like him. Damn it.
You can't not like Ryan Lindgren. Stop.
Yeah, I know. Either way, whoever did that, we salute you.
Kudos to you.
You're a good man.
It was fun to watch.
So let's take a look at your crease. So you're at the 12 games played mark. Shesterkin starts 9 of them, sitting with a 6-1 record, 2 losses in overtime, 241 goals against, 916 save.
Fine. It's fine. We don't need to lean on him as much as we did last year, which I think is also playing into it. With most goalies, the more saves they make, the more of a groove they're going to have. And I think he's still getting adjusted to not taking 50 shots every game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is a fake problem. This is a problem which, much like if you're a Met fan, seeing Jacob deGrom give up 2 runs in a game is like, oh no, he's bad. Shesterkin gives up 3 goals, and it's like the sky is falling. He's still having a very, very, very good season, and it's only going to get better. I have full confidence saying that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that really worries me about Shesterkin is not even Shesterkin. It would be Yaroslav Halak.
Yeah.
0-3. I think he's got if I read that correctly, a 3.69 goals against average, an 8.67 save. The Rangers are getting next to no help from him.
Yeah.
And it almost, I would, if I was a Ranger fan, I would be concerned that if he can't figure it out, being Halak, you're almost going to end up leaning on Shesterkin to play more games than he should.
Yeah, Shesterkin's if it stays this way, going to end up playing way too many games. I will say, Halak's numbers are a little inflated. That first game he played against Winnipeg, he gave up 1 goal until the last 6 minutes of the game where there was a 2-on-1 and then a power play. And then you had that Columbus game where the whole team played poorly. And really the game against the Islanders wasn't that bad. Serviceable from a backup. So again, I'm not like super worried about it because his numbers are a bit inflated, but we need to see a little more.
So going back to the Islander game, I mean, look, I had told you how I felt about starting Halak in that game.
Yeah.
Look, Halak's track record playing against the Islanders since his departure has been miserable. He's
abysmal, yeah.
He's 0-7. Now, granted, a very good chunk of that comes from the 56 game season when we played in the same in a conference with Boston or a division with Boston, where we saw him, I believe, 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his career goals against the Islanders is up to like a 6 now. So, and look, I had this conversation with my friend Jason, and yes, I understand that in a back-to-back when you're playing Colorado and the Islanders, Colorado is the better team. You give them your better goalie, of course. I would agree with that when the second half of your back-to-back is not a division game.
Yeah.
So the way I see it right now, and I'm just using this as an example. I know we're only 12 games into the year, so before anybody tries to come for my head, right now the wild card standings sit with you sitting in the first wild card spot. We're sitting 3rd in Metro. Now, if that was a decision made in April and this is where the standings sat, you cost yourself a spot in the playoffs by making that move.
Right.
Do I think that it makes a tremendous difference right now? Absolutely not. But I also personally believe that month of October window for hockey is the experimental window.
Yeah.
Where you would probably do things you normally wouldn't do.
Completely agree. Yep.
If Halak played against Colorado, I don't think you win that game. I know you lost anyway. No offense.
We don't get a point out of it.
You got a point, but I think I think with Halak you don't get that point.
Yeah,
I think he was losing either way, no matter who he played. So going with that logic, really you do take the lesser of 2 evils, and the decision worked out. You pulled a point out of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But moral of the story here, Halak needs to do better.
Yeah, that is the moral of the story. Thank you.
He needs to be better. So, do you still sit with your initial prediction of taking the Metro?
Yeah, I do. I still do. I mean, what are you going to say right now? We got a team that we're going to talk about in a minute that's completely overperforming that I think are going to fall off in front of us. And it's not you guys.
Yeah, we're not overperforming. We're barely hanging in there.
Yeah, listen, the Islanders have a decent season.
Well,
Yeah, no, I think it all is gonna everything's gonna level out, and I think the Rangers are gonna be going on a very good stretch. This is not overly different from their start last year. I think they started 3-3-2, and then they blew up and were 11-3-3 after that. So it's streaky. I'm not where I'm. We're gonna. I still think we're gonna come, if not first, second in the Metro.
yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why you can't come back. Obviously, the only real competition you're going to have for that first Metropolitan spot is really going to be Carolina.
Yeah, and we're only 3 points behind them. They have a game in hand, but
Yeah, and I mean, look, the season's early. We know Washington's going to have a rally. Pittsburgh will rally. Um,
let's put it this way: Colorado has a worse points percentage than us.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, look, I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, it's one a fact. It's statistically accurate. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
No.
We as a unit, being Islander fans and Ranger fans, may have something to worry about if the Devils don't chill out.
They're on one right now, man.
So we love to make fun of the Devils here, and it really breaks our heart that we can't at the moment because the Devils are actually playing well.
And we started out being able to.
Yeah, I mean,
Philly.
Well, I mean, granted, we also when we started the show, we started in the middle of the season where we already knew they were going to be. We already knew they were terrible. It was much easier to make fun of them. Look, we've been saying on and off camera for a while, at least 3 years. The Devils have been having very good off seasons.
Yeah.
And getting snake bitten before the seasons can start. They signed Corey Crawford. He retires legitimately 18 hours later.
Yep.
They signed Jonathan Bernier. He gets hurt almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Dougie Hamilton gets signed, I believe, last year or 2 years ago. Plays for a month. His face explodes from a puck.
Yep.
He doesn't come back till I think March.
Yep.
Jack Hughes was in and out of the lineup for a couple of years. Not really missing significant time. I think the most time he missed was 2 months, and then you would miss a couple games between there. But when you can't have your superstar out of the lineup to compete. Although, now, again, before people come from my head, although he's your captain, I believe Nico Hischier is mildly underperforming for a first overall pick.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, 11 points in 10 games. He's having a good year so far. But, I mean, you backlog. I mean, 11 points this year. He finished with 60 points last year in 70 games. That's okay. But the year before, 11 points in 21 games, 36 points in 58 games, 47 points in 69 games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, and don't get me wrong. That's not atrocious. That's in total right now, he's got 217 points through 310 career games. I just, as an outsider, maybe because I don't pay attention to the Devils enough other than to make fun of them, I don't see how he gets a captaincy over a Jack Hughes or a Dougie Hamilton. I understand that talent isn't the exact criteria for a captain, but I just don't think Nico Hischier's got it.
I don't think so either.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's wonderful they didn't do something stupid like give PK Subban the C.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Jack Hughes is, you can say he's on the younger side to be a captain, but he's only a year younger than Nico Hischier.
Mm-hmm.
Dougie Hamilton, that probably would have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, bringing him in being captain immediately. So I do get why he is the captain.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I agree with it.
Yes. No, you can disagree with it.
The biggest thing that I noticed for the Devils that in the long run, obviously will play a tremendous as a tremendous factor in their role, in their fate for the season, I should say. They're sitting at 8-3-0 right now with 16 points. The big thing that sticks out for me with that one, they got an ROW of all 8 games with a plus 12.
Yeah.
And look, I know ROW is kind of like a fairly ignored stat, but that's tremendous in the Metropolitan. That is not a league. Look, the Central Atlantic and the Pacific might not pay attention to that stat. That is a legitimate stat that we watch regularly in the Metro.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so tight here consistently, it's a stat that has to be watched. I can't tell you how many times where the ROW, even when the Islanders would win, they'd beat someone 5-1 or whatever, and then their ROW would jump up, but they couldn't move up in the standings because the team above them had the ROW with a lesser record and the overtime.
Yeah.
And it drives me insane.
Yeah, I know.
Because, I mean, look, it's only going to be a matter of time before an above 500 hockey team misses the playoffs because of that stupid ROW stat.
It's coming.
It's going to happen in this division because this division is a nightmare.
Correct.
Anyway, having 8 games in the ROW column right now is huge. And look, they're scoring goals, 40 goals for. That puts them in the top. That puts them in the top 7 teams in the league. They sit 7.
Scoring.
You could probably take a guess on who's number 1.
It's Boston.
That's the point where you take the guess.
It's Boston.
Oh, okay, very good. Yes, it is Boston. Boston's sitting in the league in the league with 50 goals for, with a differential plus 22.
They're going to cool down.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think they're going to eventually. They can't ride that momentum forever.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise for me with the Devils, no doubt, has been the goaltending.
Oh my God, yes. The answer is the goaltending.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think, look, Mackenzie Blackwood's going to miss a significant amount of time. The videos and the pictures all surfaced on Twitter. He left the arena the other night in a boot, which is never good. Nico Dawes has already been recalled, but with the Devils cap situation, Nico Dawes cannot be put on the active roster until Mackenzie Blackwood has missed either 10 games or I believe, was it 10 games or 14 calendar days?
I think it's yes.
So Vanecek's going to be pretty busy.
Just a bit.
Just a smidge.
Back-to-back?
Unless you have a way to send somebody down to clear up the cap room to make room for him.
Luckily, I'm looking at their schedule. They don't have any back-to-backs.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the schedule. They don't have a back-to-back till after Thanksgiving, which is a very good thing for them.
Yeah.
Talking about Vitek Vanecek.
Man's an animal.
6 games played, sitting at a 4-1 record. Came in obviously to make two relief appearances. Look, 206 goals against, 911 save. Considered average goaltending numbers, however, you can have an average goaltending number when your team is putting up a 7th spot on every team in the league.
You could not ask for anything more.
Yeah, I mean, on a personal note, I am happy to see that Vitek Vanecek got out of Washington and is succeeding.
Yes. Yeah.
Unlike his counterpart.
Yeah.
Who is doing the exact opposite of succeeding. Jonathan Bernier did make the trip out to Vancouver with the Devils.
Okay.
There is a rumor he could be activated soon. I could see. I mean, I could, but I couldn't. It would be really risky.
I'm excited.
The only thing I could think of is you'd have to send Vanecek down to play Bernier, so they're at least each getting rest until they can get Blackwood on
Oh,
LTIR. It's never going to work.
no, not at
So
all.
I don't know how they're going to get out of this. This might be the dry spell for the Devils we were hoping for.
It could be. I mean, what's that schedule like? I mean, they got? They got Calgary. He is tonight / tomorrow when you guys hear this. I mean, yesterday when you guys hear this.
Yeah, I mean,
Calgary again, Ottawa.
so they got So they have a home and home with Calgary, Ottawa, Arizona, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Edmonton, Toronto. That brings them into Thanksgiving. Seeing that at the time of recording, it is the 5th, and Blackwood went down Thursday. That puts him eligible to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So going by the 14 calendar day rule, 17th when they play Toronto in Toronto is when Mackenzie Blackwood can go to the long-term IR.
Yeah.
So that means you would have your goalie situation set up again for Ottawa moving forward. So in that time span, like we said, 2 games with Calgary, 2 with Ottawa, Arizona, Montreal, Toronto. Not going to be as hard as I think we think it will be for them.
Did Blackwood play the game against the Oilers?
I believe that's the game he got hurt in. Yes, that is the game he got hurt in. The Devils had a 3-goal third period to win.
Okay, so I mean, realistically, so you have Vanacek playing Calgary. He gets 2 days off. Plays Calgary, Ottawa, Arizona. Gets 2 days off. Plays Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa. And he might not even have to play that. He's probably not going to play that game against Ottawa that Saturday because whoever their replacement is will probably play. That's not a bad schedule. He's fine.
He's eligible to come out as of the Toronto game. Bernier can play Toronto.
I think he plays these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games.
No, you're right. He can't. Bernier can't play till Ottawa. The November 19th game. The first day of the injury is considered the 4th because he played in the game the 3rd.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, honestly, this is not a bad schedule for Vanacek at all. He plays a game, gets 2 days off, plays 3, 2 days off, plays 2, and he's done.
Yeah, you figure he'll get off Ottawa. He'll get off. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets off for Ottawa and Edmonton, honestly.
Yeah, and you know what helps him, too, is that he gets a whole week at home.
Yeah, that's a big help for him. No doubt.
Plus the 2 days off after. So he's home from Sunday the 6th until they're not going to leave for Montreal until Monday the 14th.
So I know we love to predict our own schedules here, but let's take a look at the Devils' schedule just for the fun of it. So, like we said, 2 with Calgary, 1 with Ottawa, 1 with Arizona, Montreal. I'm going to leave Toronto out of there for now.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm going to leave them in there because that would be the 18th would be 14 days.
Yes. Okay.
I'm going to say they lose the first Calgary game, being tonight. They win Tuesday. They win Thursday. They beat Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest with you. They can go like 5-1.
I was saying 5-1 or 4-2. I think that Arizona in Arizona for some reason is sticking out to me as like but
no, it's Arizona in New Jersey.
Oh, they're home. Never mind. You're right. They're home. Never mind. That's a win.
Toronto is, I guess, the only game here that really worries me as far as if I was a Devils fan. Montreal, they have no goaltending. They're gonna score 15 goals.
Probably.
Calgary, I don't want to say they bother me, but they are they're hot. They're rolling.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Calgary in Calgary is probably going to be a win for Calgary.
Yeah, I mean they started the season a little bit slow. They're on a 3-game skid right now, but when they're going, they're going. They're like, they start that game hot. It's very hard to cool them down.
Plus, that skid's got to end at some point.
Exactly. Just like the Devils playing
hot streak,
Miracle on Ice Yeah, that has to slow down too. I'm pretty comfortable saying 5-1.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see no reason why I wouldn't agree with you.
So now, a little bit of breaking news to you and I. But because we had to be nice to the Devils today, we will spend the last 5 minutes of this show absolutely tearing apart the Coyotes for their horrendous locker room. Just so we're all on the same page here. Excuse me. Okay, moving away from the B squad, we're going to talk about the C squad in the Islanders.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a better start than expected.
You can say, yeah, you definitely can say that.
You're talking about a team who they made little moves in the summer, and by little I mean they made one damn move, not one free agent signing.
Yep.
Sitting 7-5-0 with a +11 goal diff. Another team sitting with 7 wins and all 7 with the ROW.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of this recording, they did lose today to the Red Wings 3-0. That's reflecting in their record now. It's hard to complain. So the Islanders last year obviously they weren't snake bitten. They were snake bitten and then beaten down with the snake. The Islanders are always very notorious for starting the first 3 games of the year very well, either a 2-1 or a 3-0, and then they lose 4 straight, and then they win 10 straight, and then they just play with your emotions for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So everything that's going on right now has not necessarily flung me into panic mode. It's kind of it's normal at this point.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way I can say it. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Performance-wise, I can't say there's a ton that surprises me here. Brock Nelson leading the team in points with 13, 5 goals, 8 assists. Anders Lee not far behind him with 12 points, 6 goals, 6 assists. The big surprise to me, believe it or not, is Matt Barzal. He's sitting on the season with 11 points. All 11 of them are assists.
0 goals.
Now, don't get me wrong. He is a pure playmaker. So that's a very good thing to see. 11 points in 12 games. He's making plays. Yeah. Not even one. Not one goal. Like that. Like Josh Bailey has a goal. Cal Clutterbuck's got a goal. Robin Salo has 2 goals. Matt Martin has 2 goals. Scott Mayfield has 3 goals.
Yep.
The ancient relic, Zach Parise, has 4. How does a 25-year-old, newly re-signed to an 8-year extension superstar not have a goal yet? It's mind-boggling to me. It really bothers me.
It is weird, but like I said, you take points where you can get them. The only thing that would worry me, and this is like a hypothetical thing, your scorer's shot percentage is very high. So it just makes you think that at some point that's going to fall off a bit. Because you got 3 guys, you got Nelson sitting at just under 15. Anders Lee is at 17. You got a couple other guys at 14, 15, 16. So it's like a hypothetical scariness.
Yes, it's hypothetical.
Those numbers are astronomical. Those are above Ovechkin.
Okay. Don't let the Anders Lee shot percentage fool you. Because we know that, believe it or not, tip-ins count as shots.
True.
And Anders Lee is in my opinion, top 3 shot tipper in the game.
Fair enough.
That's all he does. So it doesn't surprise me that he has a very high shooting percentage. He also throws the puck directly into the goalie's chest. There's no happy middle there.
Yeah, fair.
There have been plenty of people I've been happy with. I'll be honest with you. There's not many people I can say I'm unhappy with.
Yeah.
I'm extremely happy with Noah Dobson. How could you not be? Anthony Beauvillier is having a very nice bounce back season compared to what he pulled off last year. Last year was not fun.
Not great.
One person I don't want to say I'm disappointed in, but I'm let down. I'm going to have to talk like a sad dad here. I'm pretty disappointed so far in Romanov.
Okay.
He's been bringing that physical presence to the game that everybody
Yep.
from Montreal was telling us about. Isn't afraid to get dirty. Isn't afraid to, make a play.
Yeah.
I find him to be overly aggressive,
Okay.
where it's costing us penalties.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. The penalty kill is the least of my concerns right now. The penalty kill for the Islanders on the season right now, including today, is 33 for 35. Yeah, they were. I believe they actually is it 33 for 35. Let me fact check that. But they went to the third. They didn't let up a power play goal for. I know it was definitely 31 straight attempts.
That's some good soup.
It's very good soup. It's the best soup I've ever had. I'm going to fact check myself. Regular season franchises. Stats.
Anders Lee's got to take it easy with taking so many penalties.
Oh, Vegas is 10-2 this year.
Yes, dude. Jack Eichel is on the revenge tour.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that one next week. Okay, so the Islanders' penalty kill sits at 90.5%, which is 32 for 36. Okay, so their penalty kill's been slipping the last couple games. All right, maybe I am nervous. Just kidding. So yeah, the penalty kill has been fantastic, but in a way, it's slightly concerning that we've had to kill 36 penalties in 12 games.
Like I said, I'm looking Anders Lee, 21 PIMs.
Yeah, no, we don't. We like big hits. We like fights. Nope, we don't like PIMs. PIMs are bad.
The PIMs are bad.
If your name is not Matt Martin or Ryan Reeves, guys who are supposed to have the PIMs, we don't like PIMs.
And those PIMs are fine because that means somebody else on the other team is also getting those same PIMs.
Yeah, no, well, not even that. That means if they're taking PIMs, they were taking PIMs for a reason.
True.
Yeah, so I'm just very. I am disappointed. I figured he would have calmed down by now, like settled in with his new team.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Very, very, very hard to complain about Ilya Sorokin.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. Look, at the beginning of the year, that first game with Florida, he let in some softies, but that's why it's duly noted as the first game of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Since then, he's looked incredibly sharp. He looked fantastic the other night against St. Louis. There was one goal that he had no chance. I don't know if you saw it. From Rangers legend Pavel Buchnevich, the between the legs feed to I believe they said it was Bortuzzo.
Okay.
He had no shot.
Okay.
But to sit here and say that Shesterkin or Vasilevsky or Markstrom or any of those other top goalies are going to have goals that they have absolutely no chance of stopping, it happens. I'm not worried about those. Especially like you beat him clean, you beat him clean.
Yeah.
If he takes away all of your angles and you find the 2 millimeters he's giving you, you earned it. It's yours.
Congrats. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a goalie. My angles suck. I'm not giving you 2 millimeters. I'm probably giving you 2 zip codes.
Yeah, right.
So you might want to think about that before I come play for you. Varlamov's been kind of fringy, I want to say. 4 games, 2-2 record with a 290 and a 909. Those are good backup numbers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and you see it kind of throughout the entire NHL. And I will fight this to the death. The Islanders have started a trend of their starters and backups don't exist anymore. It's 1As and 1Bs. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's any such thing as a backup anymore. I think the times of seeing a goaltender play 60-game seasons, realistically, if your name is not Andre Vasilevsky, I think they're gone.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see that anymore. I would like to see him pick it up a little bit. But then again, at the end of this year, we are no longer on the hook for that nightmarish contract. So I can't complain. We're definitely, as far as the standings go, we're definitely higher up than I expected us to be. Seeing we're sitting third in the Metro for the time being. 2 points behind the Devils. Tied in points with the Rangers. But see, again, this is where that ROW comes back to haunt everybody.
Mm-hmm.
6-4-2, 14 points. 7-5-0, 14 points. ROW of 7. You have an ROW of 6. That's where it's going to come kill everybody. I'm still hopeful they make the playoffs, especially looking kind of the outside looking in. The Rangers are not going to go to the playoffs on the wild card.
You got to think Pittsburgh's going to have a surge at some point.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Like I said before, Washington and Pittsburgh, that it's only a matter of time. Washington more so than Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh really finally is on the decline. I think this is actually the lowest they've sat in the standings in the Sidney Crosby era. This 10 games into the year, I believe this is the lowest they've ever sat.
Could be. I just refuse to say that they're done and then them come back again. So I'm going to wait.
Well, I'm not saying they're done. I'm saying it based off of what I've seen, they could be on the decline. Because again, even this point in the year, they've never been this bad.
Well, you don't think the Flyers are going to stay there and compete?
Okay, that's another team we're going to have to talk about. They're supposed to be garbage.
They're going to be.
They're 5-3-2, 12 points, sitting literally just outside of a wild card spot. And by just outside, I mean if they win tonight, they jump to the wild card too. I don't believe Tampa's playing tonight. I believe tonight is an off night for them.
Yeah.
I will confirm that. Stand by. Beep, boop, beep, boop, bop, boop, boop, beep. No, they do play tonight. They're playing Buffalo, which again,
Buffalo's nasty.
Buffalo is disgusting. 7-4, 14 points, sitting at second in the Atlantic, behind Boston and Detroit of all teams.
Well, I think Buffalo actually has a chance to stay good. Philadelphia is going to fall off a cliff.
Well, I mean, you look at Buffalo right now: 7-4, 14 points. 6 of their 7. I'm sorry. Again, all 7 of their games in the ROW column, a goal differential of plus 13. They're disgusting. Craig Anderson.
I mean, look at Dahlin and Tage Thompson are having fantastic seasons.
Yeah, I mean, pulling up their stats right now. Rasmus Dahlin, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points in 11 games. Tage Thompson, 7-7, 14 points in 11 games.
And Craig Anderson found the fountain of youth.
Yeah, Craig Anderson. I believe he's 3-1, 225 goals against, 927 saved. And he's not even the starter.
Nope.
Eric Comrie. Where the hell did he come from?
I don't know.
He played with a 4-3. The goals against is rough. It's a 329, but an 898 save percentage. But he's winning games. He's winning games 4-3.
Because they're scoring.
With a 4-3 record, he's winning.
So, like I said, they have a shot to stay good. This is going to be with Philadelphia, this is going to be a classic Tortorella thing where he keeps those guys fired up for about 7 weeks, and then they get tired of them and it falls off a cliff.
Yeah, but I mean, one of the things we've been saying in the beginning of the year, a team like Philadelphia and their already gritty nature, that could be the fit Tortorella was looking for.
It could be. It
like
could be. I just don't think so.
I'm just saying I wouldn't rule it out.
If
You know?
Kiefer Bellows is on your roster, I don't think you're a playoff team ever. So.
Watch it.
And you also have Carter Hart. He's on drugs. He's just under a 950 save percentage. That's at some point going to drop.
Yeah, no, he's bad. He's not going to stay there forever.
He's just someone's. I think Torch is sneaking him stuff.
No, yeah, that he's going to come down from that sooner or later. We're at the point where we got to predict some schedules.
Who?
When we're going to start with yours. The 4 games with 3 teams. Sunday the 6th with Detroit, a 5 o'clock game. Tuesday the 8th with the Islanders, 7 o'clock game in the Garden. You go on the road. You go fly back to Detroit on the 10th. And Saturday the 12th, you have the Predators, 8 o'clock.
That's a
I
tough
already
game.
know what you're going to say, and you know I'm going to say the opposite, so just say it.
Yeah, I don't think you. I'm honestly, I think I'm sitting at 3-1.
And who's the one?
I don't know. It might be Detroit. It's one of the Detroit games or the Islanders. We're not losing to Nashville. It's one of those. I don't know, dude. How I think the Islander game is going to go is going to completely depend on how the game against Detroit goes. If they can score and their offense is back, and then we play Igor against the Islanders, I think we win that game. If they still are having trouble putting pucks in the net, it's going to be a tough game.
So, initially off the bat, if your coach, if Gerard Gallant hasn't learned his lesson playing Halak against the Islanders, and he shows him to you again, you deserve to lose. I'm sorry.
Actually, I am changing my answer to 4-0 for one reason. Hear me out. I was 3-1 with honestly the Islanders being the big question mark. That's the second day of a back-to-back for you guys. You played Calgary the night before. And I always say a team is going to lose the second game of a back-to-back. Every time, every team. That's just the way I think.
I am going to... I'll tell you what. I see you're 4-0. And I come back at you with a 4-0.
It's back-to-backs are tough.
Okay, hear me out. Calgary home, UBS Arena, 7 o'clock Monday.
Yep.
There's no travel. These guys get to go home that night, and their commute is literally extended by 20 minutes. It's not that bad of a home finish.
It's not. It's really the issue for me isn't even the travel. It's just that you just played a hockey game last night.
No, look, I get it. I believe the Islanders have already had one back-to-back this year. And it was not.
Yeah.
Had a back-to-back with Carolina and Colorado and won both.
Which is insane.
Yeah, 6-2 against Carolina. And that I'm sure you saw absolutely ridiculous comeback win versus Colorado.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Down 3-1 going into the third period, come back to win 5-4. That was very fun to be there for. Let me tell you.
I also think Varlamov starts against the Rangers.
Yeah.
Because Varlamov has a good track record against the Rangers.
Yeah, I'll subscribe to that. Well, because you think about it, finishing out my schedule really quick. Arizona is Arizona. Columbus is Columbus.
Yeah. I mean, those two, Arizona, Columbus should be wins.
Yeah, they're both terrible.
Yeah.
The Varlamov did just play today in Detroit. I could definitely see him getting the extra day off to play the Rangers. But at the same time, you can make the same case for Sorokin and give him now 4 days off before he sees the Rangers.
Also true.
So I guess it's the lesser of two evils. And considering Calgary looks like they're in a little bit of a skid right now, losing the last 3, I don't know if the urgency is there to necessarily say Sorokin has to go win that game.
I don't know. This is a tough thing to predict.
It's very, but I'm going to stick to my guns here. I'm going to go with my 4 now.
All right.
Okay.
I think one of us is going to be right.
Yeah. All right.
I think that game is the only game in question.
Well, no, that literally is that is what ruins this right now.
Yeah.
We're at the end point. We had a very productive show, catching up on our own teams, talking about our own guys. I made a promise. The NHL should be embarrassed with what they're letting happen in the Coyotes locker room situation.
Completely agree.
Now, for those who don't know, you're a hockey ref.
Yep.
That is what your locker room looks like at the rec rink.
Yes, correct.
That is what that's what my locker room looked like at the rec rink.
Honestly, mine might be nicer.
Depends on what rink. Freeport rink. The Freeport rink doesn't really have nice rooms.
No.
The Dix Hills rooms, though.
That's good stuff. That's good soup.
That's arguably next to Northwell. That's the second nicest soup on the island.
Yeah.
I don't have the pictures on hand. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare for this. For those who didn't see, the Coyotes locker room, or the Coyotes visiting team locker room, is literally in the parking garage.
Yep.
Nothing protecting it other than black curtains and lockers on wheels.
Kind of looks like if you set up like a flea market in a high school gym. Kind of looks like that.
You know what that would exactly? It's like when the job fairs came to the senior year.
Exactly.
Yep.
Precisely.
It's almost very reminiscent. If I can find it on Twitter, I'll definitely pull it up. It's very reminiscent of, what would you call it? You go to draft parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And they always bring out the, what do you call it? Why can't I make words today?
I don't know, dude.
You think about the display cases that they bring.
Okay.
Like with the memorabilia and stuff.
Yes,
That's going to hurt my brain for a while.
Oh, my God.
But, I mean, look, this is just the Coyotes locker room.
They actually have real walls.
They have real walls in theirs. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, since we both play, it's called beer league hockey.
Yep.
Or soda league hockey, excuse me. Now, here's some things here's some things I see right here. I've never hung my pants like that.
Nope.
This is the goalie's seat.
Yup.
This is the guy who's trying to throw the tape across the locker room.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you. This actually looks kind of nice. This looks cool.
It kind of, to be fair, it looks like Skate Safe if you added a shelf. Like spot on.
Oh my God!
Concrete walls, nothing in the middle.
You're not wrong. That's the sad part.
A bench.
You know what bothers me the most, and I don't know why. Like, okay, they have the shelving, the bench. Like, okay, like were they not allowed to hang at least one picture of their logo?
It wouldn't surprise me if they're not.
Like, even just on a game day, just have a guy go in there with a nail. Here you go. Here's a picture.
Yeah, it really wouldn't surprise me though. Hey, at least they got a carpet.
There's a carpet.
Little throw rug.
Yeah, that was probably like $30 at Stop and Shop.
Looks like it was stepped on though. Not cool.
Yeah, right here there's a footprint. That's messed up. You don't step on the logo.
Nope.
Everybody knows that.
First rule.
See, whoever this equipment trainer is, like this guy, He knows how to put down the goalie pads.
That's a good guy.
This guy knows what's up. This guy is like a 30-year league vet.
Yeah, right.
Again, I've never seen anybody hang their pants before.
No.
Maybe
not
that's
once.
a pro. Maybe the pros do that. I've never seen that before. Now, looking at this shelf, is it just me, or does this man have 2 blockers?
that looks like 2 blockers.
I don't like that. Oh, nice bathroom. Okay, at least
Nice
they can
men's
pee.
room.
I'm happy for them.
At least they can pee not on the floor.
Let's see. Ah, here we go. This is the one we're looking for.
Oh,
It's-
yes.
Now, here's what I don't like even more. First of all, they got significantly comfier seating than the Coyotes did.
Yeah, right.
And again, these are just like you could probably buy these at IKEA. I'm not even joking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And if you look over here, are these windows, or is that the concourse?
I'm leaning towards concourse. Actually, that kind of looks like daylight, honestly.
Yeah, I can't really tell if we're being completely honest. And I'll be
It
honest,
might just be outside, not even windows, just straight up outside.
But like, look, they were like, there's no like, oh, they put like little one soundproofing cube. Like, what is this gonna do? It just it clearly covered up a logo or something here.
It's probably the Sun Devils logo or something, yeah.
It could be. I think it is.
But you know what? For as much as we rip on it, all the away teams are saying they love the atmosphere. So, like, I don't know what to think.
This is a look at the temporary visitors locker room. This same Twitter account. I'm seeing this tweet for the first time. When the Winnipeg Jets take on the Coyotes in the Mullett Arena tonight, this is the temporary locker room they'll be using. Okay, just here alone, they have more of their own logo than the league does. This isn't even the right logo anymore.
No, I don't know, dude.
Box fans on the floor, like, this is.
It brings them back, I can tell you that.
Yeah, like it's almost at the point of like, how much longer do we make fun of the Coyotes and like until we just start feeling bad?
There's Pee Wee teams with nicer locker rooms.
Coyotes visitor locker room versus what Dash Khan had. Be honest with you, the ball pit's probably more comfortable.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, kudos, I guess, for trying to make the best of a bad situation.
They did what they could.
But your team's still terrible and your arena is small. And we hate
Someone save Clayton Keller.
Yeah, seriously, why he re-upped there is beyond me. I think we've done enough making fun of these people for the night.
I think they've had their fill.
We're going to see you next week.
I'm going to see you next week.
Good, because I don't want to take off 2 weeks again.
No, we're good. I got no trips planned for a while.
Ladies and gentlemen, we could not thank you enough for joining us on today's episode of The Sunday Sauce. Stay healthy. Stay clean. Drink your milk.
Drink your milk.
Drink your gosh darn milk. I'm not going to keep asking. Tyler Adele alongside Andrew Micaria. We could not thank you enough for being with us today. Enjoy your weekend.
Stay beautiful.